Hey everyone, it's me, Mr. Toasty, and I'm going to be reviewing High on Life today. Okay, so I tried to do a let's play of it, but my footage corrupted on episode 3, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. So, you know what? We're just gonna do a review. Just gonna do a review. So, I like this game a lot. Honestly, I think this game is very fun. I think this game is very funny. I think this game is just, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Let me just get that out of the way. So before we get into the I guess you could say controversial stuff, which is like the dialogue or whatever, I want to talk about the gameplay, right? I think it's great. I think it's really, really, really fun. Now, I'll be honest, right? I'm not really a first-person shooter type of guy unless they have something that makes me go, this is kind of interesting. You know, this game's interesting thing is the fact that your gun talks to you, right? That's the interesting thing. So, when I talk about like first-person shooters, I don't have a lot of experience. The only first-person shooter that I really enjoyed was Half-Life. I guess you could say Paladins, but that doesn't have a story. So, but like Half-Life and Half-Life 2, and I guess Portal. Would Portal count? I guess Portal would count. So yeah, those are the first-person shooters that I enjoy. But High on Life, you know, I was going into it skeptical because you've seen some things like on the internet, like people, oh, this game's not funny, oh, this game's not fun, movement in this game sucks, the gunplay sucks, everything sucks about this game. So I was going in a little skeptical, just a smidge, and then they opened with that fake game, which it was all right. It was standard first person shooter stuff. But when you actually get your first Gatlian, when you first get Kenny, you're just playing around. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. Then he introduces you to the glob shot when you go down to the slums, and that is pretty cool. Like a trick hole, whatever they call it, the glob shot. It's really fun, honestly. Like, it's honestly really fun to be able to juggle people in the air. They also have like mods that you can put on Kenny. I only know of 2 of them. There's probably more. But I had the multi-glob shot, which like splattered a bunch of just little glob shots. Then there was the one that make it to where when you use the glob shot and you shoot somebody in the air, somebody you're juggling, then your bullets will just start bouncing off of them, and then they'll hit other people. So that's pretty cool. It's like, oh, you got different ways of tackling how things work. And I think Foco was the one who said this. Foco was like, if you just use one Gatlian, then it's like, oh, it's fine. But when you start combining them, that's when it starts to get like crazy. And he's right. He's actually really right about that, because that's just, there are times where I would use this one Gatlian named Creature, where what he does is he shoots out babies, and like certain babies, his trick hole baby, it's purple, or at least I think it's purple on all of them. Anyways, it doesn't matter. That baby will hypnotize people, and you can use that for your advantage. Like, you can say like, oh, there's a big enemy, I want him to fight the little guys for me, so I don't have as many people flooding me. You shoot the hypnotism baby on him. He starts fighting. Then you switch to a different Gatlian and say you're like, oh, I want to use the time bubble from Sweezy. Yeah, I forgot to introduce like all of them. They all have trick holes. So they all have different powers. They all have different trick holes. They all have that stuff, right? Except for Let's Do It. Anyways, when you start combining like the way that these guns work, it's just incredible. And I'm pretty sure that if you're like actually really good at the game, you can do some like wild stuff. I was not, because I was mainly like a ground kind of guy, and they give you a jetpack. You can fly around with the jetpack, and I did sometimes, but I was mainly on the ground, which made me get rushed sometimes. But I mean, it's still fun. Oh, and Knifey is probably one of my favorites, because he can also be combined with the Gatlians, because like there's this one, his name is Gus. He shoots out discs that stick to certain walls, but if you're using it as an attack, you can relaunch the attack with Knifey, making it go again, basically. I think you can do this infinitely, I'm not sure, but I can only do it like 2 or 3 times. Knifey also, he can combine with Sweezy and her regular shot. Like, so if you shoot a bunch of dudes with the crystals and you use Knifey, they will just explode. It's it's a fun game. The gameplay in that game is solid. There's fun platforming challenges. There's like a few puzzles put in there. It's really fun. I think the game is really, really fun. But now I want to get over to what could be seen as controversial, and that is the dialogue. Now, before we really get into it, the first thing I want to say is there's an option to turn it off. Not every single piece of dialogue, obviously, but there's a way to turn the gun chatter off. If you don't want to hear it, you can always just turn it off. Like you don't have to hear it at all. It's not hard. It's very easy to just turn it off. Right? Very simple. But a lot of people don't like, I guess I could say, Rick and Morty-esque humor. Justin Roiland's humor, right? Not everybody likes it, and that's fine. You don't have to like it. Like, I mean, I like it. I think it's kind of funny. You don't have to. That's like, everybody has different types of humor. Everyone has a different sense of humor. It's all fine. It's all fine and good. But I've seen so many people just dogging this game, but I've also seen a lot of people, praising it and saying, oh, it's pretty funny. Not all the jokes land, but hey, it's funny. It's funny here and there, and that's basically where I'm coming from, right? I don't think all the jokes land because that's just impossible. Even in games that I hold to a very high regard, like Kid Icarus Uprising, that game has jokes that also doesn't land. That's just how comedy works. Sometimes jokes won't land. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, see, Justin's jokes never land because it's all just rambling nonsense. And like, well, some people like rambling nonsense. That's just what they find funny. Personally, I find more dry humor funny, like stuff that's like sort of cringe. Basically stuff like the things you see in later Amazing World of Gumball episodes. I like that type of humor. I think it's really funny. But if you don't like, jokes that are like, oh yeah, I went to the store and then there was this guy, he was eating his boogers, and he was just, he started screaming about, oh, I love eating boogers, and I was just like, what's going on? What's going on with that guy? He's eating his boogers, he's screaming, what's going on? What's happening? I don't know. Like, people don't really find a lot of that funny, and that's fine. You don't have to find it funny. I'm not saying you have to find it funny. You can be annoyed at it all you want, but at the same time, it's like, don't buy the game then. Either turn it off or just don't buy the game. Like, you don't, like, just save yourself $60, or if you got it on Xbox Game Pass, just don't download it. Just don't download the game. It's not that hard to just avoid it. If you see a clip on Twitter, just scroll past it. It's not that hard. It's not that deep either. But yeah, I think the game is fun. I think it's funny. Sorry, this review is kind of all over the place. This is the first time I've ever done a review on like anything. I know I didn't really give like a deep explanation of the game, but that's mainly because I want people to go out and experience the game for themselves. Like, but yeah, I think the game is a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's pretty funny. I'd give the game a solid 8 out of 10, right? It does a lot of good things right, personally. Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. So, if you want to check it out, you could always just head on over to Steam or on Game Pass, and then boom, get it. It's fun. I think it's fun. All right, I guess that's it for the first ever review that I'm ever doing, and bye. I guess. See ya.
Bounty Hunter! Hey, if you're playing this game, congratulations! sit and watch this commercial. You're gonna get prizes if you watch this whole commercial. You got lucky. This is RNG based. It doesn't happen all the time. If you're seeing it, it's just lucky roll of the dice. Popped up on your TV, now you're listening. At the end of it, if you're still there, you're gonna get prizes. And now the big countdown. And here we go. We're gonna count all the way down from 85.
1 hour later.
0! You did it! Woo! Congratulations! You waited the whole countdown. It's prize time, baby. You're a big fucking dipshit. There we go. Pop on the screen. It's a dipshit award. Good work. All right. Fuck you and see you next time. Bye-bye.